And here is my 1850 points of Grey Knights. Starting down here with the 2 HQs, we have a Grandmaster with Demon Hammer, and also a Librarian with 4 sword. Behind them we have 3 troop choices, starting with 2 strike squads. They both exactly the same, so they're basically armed with 4 swords and force halberds and 1 heavy flamer and 1 side cannon. I'll say heavy flamer, heavy incinerator is what I mean. And behind them over here, another troop choice is a set of Terminators with a side cannon, and they're all armed with what they have, so 2 halberds and 1 demon hammer and 2 swords. Bringing up the heavy choices over here is 2 Nemesis Dread Knights, armed as is. So on the right here we have a Gatling silencer and heavy side cannon, and on the left here we have a heavy side cannon and heavy incinerator and a great sword. And also as a transport here for the Terminators, we have a Land Raider Redeemer as stock. No upgrades on that other than what you see. So the Warlord also has Hammer of Righteousness, which gives him +1 to wound rolls if he successfully charged in a phase. So I won't do the psychic powers now, I'll do them as they come up because there's quite a few to go through, and that is my 1850 points of Grey Knights.
It's Tom from BlackToad Studios, and here we've got my 1850 points of Astra Militarum, or of course you know him as the Imperial Guard. We've got 2 detachments, we've got Brigade, and... oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, Tom, I'm going to keep rolling with this one. This is Tom from BlackToad Studios, and this is my 1850 points of Guard. We have got a battalion detachment and spearhead detachment at the back here. So let's start back here. We've got a tank commander in the Lehman Russ Punisher with 2 plasma cannon sponsons and a las cannon in the hull. We've got a Lehman Russ Demolisher with 3 heavy bolters and demolisher cannon in the heavy choice. We've got an Exterminator with Exterminator autocannon and 3 heavy bolters, and at the back there we have got a mortar squad. Moving over to the main bulk of the force, the battalion. We've got a Hellhound here at the front. We've got a tank commander with an executioner cannon, multi-melter sponsons and a las cannon. We've got a company commander with a power sword and a plasma pistol. We have got 5 squads of guard. Each guard squad's got no special weapon, but they've got heavy weapons. So we've got 2 with auto cannons, and we've got 3 with heavy bolters here. Moving over to the heavy choices, we've got 2 squads of missile launchers. We've got a sniper squad, which is specials. We've got a platoon commander there. We've got 2 commissars with a power fist and power sword. And we've got a command squad here, missile launcher and 2 plasma guns. We are going to be using the Cadian Regiment stratagem. We've gone with Grand Strategist as our warlord trait. And we have got, I think it's Korov's Aquila, which is one which is able to take command points off of our opponents. So in total, we have got 7 command points. This is my army, and let's have a look to see what Tom is bringing today.
And welcome to an 1850 point battle report, going with another open war deck choice. So in front of us here we have our 3 options. So we have deployment, objective and twist. Deployment, we actually seem to draw hammer and anvil, yet another. I think we've drawn this for 3 times now, but we'll keep going with it. We're playing Field of Glory, which is basically 3 objectives. 1 in the centre of the board, and then the other 2 in your own deployment area you choose after roll off, which we have done. I'm deploying down that end of the board. We're not quite there yet, but we'll do that shortly. And over here we've got Eager to Fight, which adds 2 inches to move characteristics of all models and add 1 to all advance and charge rolls. So it could be quite a quick moving game. So anyway, we'll be back in a minute once we're all deployed, and I'll show you the battlefield and the objectives. So as the dust settles on this planet here, we see 2 armies arrayed to fight each other, Grey Knights and Guard. Little misunderstanding or the taint of chaos, we don't know, but the Grey Knights have been told to expunge this world of all inhabitants that they can find because this world has fallen to chaos and there's many suspicions around this Guard force.
What?
So, sorry Dom, but yeah, you got to play that role again. Anyway, so as I said before, we are playing Field of Glory. So objective wise, we've got 1 down here. We also have one dead centre here, and one over in this landing pad area over here. There's no actual points for the objectives. It's basically whoever holds the most objectives at the end of the game wins. If any player holds all 3 at the end of their turn, they automatically win the game outright. So it's a straight out fight. Obviously we've got the little twist with the extra movement for charging and advancing, and also just general movement. So at the moment, the Grey Knights are going first. Can Dom seize on a 6?
Yes!
Oh, no. Anyway, we'll be right back with Guard turn 1.
Yeah, we will.
So in turn 1 for Guard, the orders have been barked and forward go the Guard line. So down here we have had the Punisher tank move up with a squad of men down here, and also moving over to this side of the board, a little bit more movement over here. The Devil Dog, the Executioner, pardon me, and the Demolisher all move up with their respective bodyguard units down here, or meat shields. So that is the movement. We'll now move on into the shooting phase. Okay, so at the start of the shooting phase, we had some orders done. So it was bring it down onto this rocket squad from someone in here, and also over here, exactly the same order over there to them. So that was reroll to wound, isn't it? Yeah.
Reroll 1.
Reroll 1s to wound.
Yep.
So with that being said, there was a lot of shots from this area. So I think we had the autocannons here, the rocket launchers, and the exterminator over here, and mortars, and no Dread Knight left. That was not pleasant. I'm not a happy man. Moving over to this side of the board, we had again a very similar kind of story, but not resulting in dead Dread Knights this time. We had, I think, the Executioner here, and it sort of split its fire. It fired its main cannon into the squad of the strike squad that was here. That is now no longer there. Also, the Las cannon, I think, went into the Land Raider, and then some rockets went into the Land Raider as well. And I think we're down to 14 wounds there. And then I think heavy bolter fire into the Dread Knight, and he's down to 11 wounds. So that was a pretty successful shooting turn for the Guard, I think. I don't think he's got any assault. No. So we'll move on into Grey Knights, turn 1. So as the Grey Knights try to muster a response in turn 1, over here they have moved forward. The Librarian has jumped up here to get just make sure he's in range for psychic abilities. Over here, this Land Raider has shuffled forward as well, going max distance plus the 2 extra he gets from the twist. Same with this Dread Knight. The strike squad here has stayed put in the ruins because obviously they're holding the objective, and also over here this squad has stayed put because they're probably going to move in a minute via some psychic shenanigans. So we'll now move on to the psychic and shooting. So during the psychic phase, well, I'm just going to recap what I did. This is cast Sanctuary on himself. I did try to do Gate of Affinity over here, but didn't work. However, they do have Hammer Hand, which is really useful now. Anyway, so we're going to carry on shooting. Do some of this on camera. So down here, we're going to be firing the Gatling Silencer and the Heavy Psycan. I have boosted it using a stratagem so it gets +1 to its AP and Strength. So the Silencer is now got -1 AP and is Strength 5. So we'll start with that, and that is firing at this rocket team down here. I did move, so I'm hitting on 4s. That is not very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and wounding on 2s, I think, isn't it? Strength 5?
No, 3.
3, oh no, yeah, it's not double, is it? Pardon me. However, that is 4 wounds.
Here we go. -1?
Yeah, -1.
So 6 up. Ooh,
nothing.
How many damage
It's D3 each.
Oh no, this could be bad.
Well, you can only kill him once, it's not mortal, so you've just lost 4, haven't you?
They're 2 wounds.
Oh, 2 wounds each. Oh, yes,
yeah.
Good point. So first one, it's 2 wounds.
Dead.
Second one, 2 wounds.
Dead.
Third one, come on.
Oh, dead.
2 wounds, yes.
Yeah.
Nice, all right, fair enough. And then we're going to fire the Heavy Psy Cannon, which is D6 shots. So let's get that started first. So 3, that's fair enough. And that is hitting on 4s. This is firing onto the HQ tank But Don also, sorry, I did neglect to say he has passed take cover, so he got a +1 cover save. So we'll now be going on to 4s here. Not a 1. So that is the Dread Knight shooting. And as the Grey Knights finish their assault phase, unfortunately the only assault they could try and get off was this one. That was only due to the +1 to charge in advance rolls. Over here, unfortunately, it wasn't enough to get in that control there. So that is the end of the assault phase. We'll now move on to Guard turn 2. As we roll into Guard turn 2, there's a heavy movement and dust clouds build up over here as all these tanks roll forward, including the Hellhound. The squad in front has also moved up to get a bit closer to its quarry over here, so I think there's going to be a lot of shots piling into that Dread Knight this turn. Elsewhere on the board there was a bit of movement at the back here, I think probably just to plug some holes in any deep striking defence from a Gate of Infinity. And over this side the Punisher has moved round to try and get a bit closer to the targets, because obviously once this Dread Knight over here died, it kind of hasn't got a lot to shoot at the moment. And also this squad has also moved up the board, probably trying to get nearer to the objective in the centre of the board, because obviously that's quite a prize as it's the only objectives for the game. So that's the movement turn for Guard in turn 2. We'll now head on to the shooting phase. So just before we do some dice rolling for the shooting phase, over here we had some orders go off. We had Pound Them to Dust. That was issued onto this tank here from the tank commander. And over here, first rank, second rank fire was issued from this cheeky commander down here onto these guys here. So rapid fire 2 las guns onto the Dread Knight, methinks. And then finally another order over here, which is take aim onto the missile squad. So obviously trying to get a bit more shots going on. So anyway, over here, I think we're going to do some las gun shooting.
Yes.
So how many here was this, Tom?
24 las gun shots.
Yeah.
Coming in on the big guy.
Yeah, so
4s to hit.
This is why I don't let Dom use my dice, you see. He just seems to be crawling back some respect.
Right, and we need 6s to wound.
Yep.
Have we got anything?
2.
We got 2!
No AP on these, so
No AP.
2 up saves.
Ah.
And they're good, so that's the las guns out the way. I think it's got an auto cannon.
Cannon, yep.
So he's in on 4s, I presume.
2 hits.
Didn't need to worry about that.
And 3s. 1 wound.
That's -1, so 3 up, and he is good.
Cool.
Okay, and that is that squad shooting done.
Mm-hmm.
So now the Hellhound's joined the party, and he is firing his Inferno Cannon over here, I believe.
Yep, so it's 2d6 shots. 2!
That's more like it.
And so 4s to wound with strength 6.
Oh.
There we go. And 2 saves with a -1 modifier, 1 damage each. Oh,
both
there
got
we
through.
go.
So how many damage is that each?
1 damage each.
So we're down to 9. Okay, and I think we've got some other... Is the heavy bolt was on there as well?
Yeah, we're going to fire the heavy bolter.
Okay.
So that's hitting on 4s. Nope, 5s even. 2 hit. 5 to wound.
No.
Wound. And we're going to fire the Demolisher Cannon. We're going to fire that twice, but we're going to use the order, so we're re-rolling the shots. So it's D3 shots, because there's only 1 target. So 2, I'm going to re-roll. That's 1.
1, oh dear.
So 1 shot so far, and the other one. Re-roll that. So 3 shots.
Okay,
so
you get your 3 eventually.
Yeah, so hitting on 4s.
Oh.
2 hit.
Okay.
Wounding on 3s.
1.
One wound.
Minus
-3.
-3, so needing a 4 up invulnerable, but I didn't get it.
D6 damage.
Okay.
6!
Oh no! Okay, this is not good. Down to 3 wounds. He's limping. He is limping. However, you better finish him off.
Yes, I will be finishing him off. So we're going to fire the 2 multi-melters from the HQ tank here. They're going to fire in there.
Okay.
The plasma cannon as well, and the last cannon is just going to fire at that.
Okay.
So let's do the plasma cannon first. That's D6 shots, firing twice.
All right.
But we're not re-rolling the amount, so let's just roll 2d6. So 5 shots. Hitting on 3s. Yikes. And wounding on freeze. One. One wound.
So we'll take a 4 vulnerable on that, I think, because it's -3.
Yep.
No.
No.
And that is 1 damage, isn't it? So
yep.
2.
And the 2 multi-melters.
Yep.
Both hit. 1 wound.
1 wound. Come on now. Need this 4 up. No.
Oh.
Roll low. Roll low.
He's gone.
No. Oh dear. Right. Well, that's all that shooting in that area, I think, except for the las cannon.
Yeah. So let's do the las cannon. Hit. Wounded.
And I'll take a 5 on vulnerable.
And there we go.
He's fine. Where was that a minute ago? Anyway, so that's all that shooting in this area. We'll be back in a second. So for the rest of that shooting phase, we had some mortar fire fly all the way over here and onto the squad down here and didn't do anything, luckily. We also had a couple of sporadic shots from this squad here and the rockets all go into the Land Raider. However, all the saves for any of the wounds were saved, which is good. So all in all, another painful turn for the Grey Knights, but we'll now move on into turn 2 for Grey Knights because I believe there's, again, no charging. No. So as turn 2 movement for the Grey Knights commences, the current special rule is helping us out a bit, getting a little extra movement in various areas, so that extra 2 inches is helping. So the Land Raider has moved up and parked itself in here to get a few shots off here because the cannons are now in range. The Grey Knight Terminals did get out first before it moved, and they have just moved themselves into position here to potentially go for the squad here, or the tanks behind them depending on what happens in the shooting phase. At the back over here we've had the Librarian move up with this squad of Grey Knights as well, just in case they don't get to what they want off in the psychic phase. So that is movement. We'll now move on into psychic and shooting. Okay, so during the shooting phase, we did put sidebolt ammunition on these guys to give them a +1 strength, which did not really help them that much. We did try to shoot at this tank over here, and we took a wound off, and also the Land Raider here fired pretty much everything into here and managed to take off, I think, 6 wounds in the end, which is not too bad, which is pretty acceptable. We had a few sporadic shots coming in from the Stormbolters over here to this squad. Took off 2 people in the end, so yeah, fair enough. Other than that, not really much else went on. We do have an assault to go on here, obviously. In fact, it might be a couple of assaults, never know. The Land Raider could feel quite compelled to go for it. So, that is the end of the shooting phase. Now we want to turn to Grey Knight's assault. So, on the way down here is that cat noise drifts off into the wind. The Grey Knights have decided that they wanted to slaughter the guard squad in front of them, and they managed to do that quite successfully, and there is the Commissar waiting here. The Land Raider then barreled through the ruins and decided to try and ram the tank here. However, it kind of didn't work out too well for him because he actually lost a wound in return combat, even though he had six attacks. 4 to Overwatch as well, yeah, that's a fair point. So, that's all the combat for this turn. We're now going to move on to Guard turn 3 and see what pans out. So as Guard plough on into turn 3 over here, we can see there's a general move across the line. All the Guardsmen have charged out of their defences heading towards various objectives, so I think we have a couple here heading towards the middle, because down here we had an advance. And then over here, some plasma gunners have broke cover to try and aid the tank crews over here from these Terminators, so I'm imagining that's going to get pretty hot over here in a minute. The tanks, the Punisher over, I think he stays still in the end, doesn't he?
Stays still.
Yeah. And I think even the Exterminator has moved as well. So that's the movement. We'll now swing on into the shooting phase and see what happens. So we join Dom in the orders phase, and he's a bit indecisive. So we'll just see what goes through the commander's mind here as he puts his orders down. Well,
what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do on my target from this commander onto the missile squad there.
Yep.
So rerolling 1s to wound.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be targeting this bad boy over here. Similar story. We are going to. He's going to issue the same order to this squad here because we're going to target those Terminators and wipe them off the battlefield. And that is it for my orders, I think.
Okay, well, we'll be back shortly with some shooting. So as we join the shooting phase here, this plasma squad is about to fire into the Terminators. So let's see what happens.
Alright, so I can do them individually in case we die, but we are overcharging because we need to inflict some double wounds.
I do indeed.
So this little chap here, yes. This little chap here, yes.
So they've all hit.
All hit, yeah, because they are veterans, but so I think on a free up of the command, so yeah, the command squad.
And I believe you need 2s now.
Yeah, I do need
because you're double.
Thank you for reminding
That's
me.
right.
All wounded.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So we're going to need some fire and vulnerables here.
Yep.
And I'm sure I'm going to do these one at a time because obviously they inflict 2 wounds each.
Yes.
So let's start first one.
Yes.
1 is dead. This next one.
Yes.
Dead. Third one.
Oh yeah.
Dead. And 1 alive. So 3 Terminators dead. So I am going to select 1 halberd.
Yeah, that guy.
1 sword.
Oh, him.
And probably another halberd. There we go.
Comment below.
So they're down. Oh dear.
And we are firing the missile as well.
Yep, over to here again.
So we're going to fire a crack missile. So we are hitting on a 4.
As you moved, yeah.
Yeah, no, nothing. My commander though, he's going to fire his plasma pistol at said squad. Yes. So we're going to overcharge as well because you got to live life, haven't you? Really, unless you die. Oh no!
A bit like that, really. You could use a re-roll though if you.
I'm going to use a reroll.
On the grounds you have an abundance from your reclaiming.
Yep. So I'm going to use a reroll. Yep. So hit, 4th wound. Didn't wound.
No wound.
Never mind.
Okay.
And also see if I reclaim my point through my warlord trait. So on a 5 up, I retain my command point. Yes.
Yes, you do. So
Good times.
okay. Well, I think that's that for now. We'll come back with some more shooting in a second. So as turn 3 shooting for guard comes to an end, sadly down here the Grey Knights are feeling the utter pain and destruction of every gun on the guard line over here. So the Terminators that were here were pretty much obliterated by a combination of shots from here, 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 and a lot of overcharge shots here, which did most of the damage, I think, actually. I think they killed 3 off in the end. Pretty nice. So the Land Raider's been chipped down as well from quite a few shots from these right-hand side over here. So the Punisher, the rockets, the Exterminator, some snipers at the they shot over at the Terminator, isn't they? Pardon me. And then finally over here, a mortar volley fired up over here and right down into here, and that caused 1 wound, and it was failed. So it was 1 dead Marine. So that is the end of. Is that the end of the guard turn again, Dom? No charging again, or have you got anything you want to do?
The only thing I can charge is a Land Raider with 2 auto-hitting disgusting guns.
Yeah.
I think I'll
You'll take a pass.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So we're going to head on to Grey Knights turn 3 and see if they can hold on another turn. As we move into turn 3 for Grey Knights, the completely battered Land Raider has made a small move just so he's got lots of options for targets. And back in the backfield over here, Librarian has snuck into the ruins that way, along with his squad that's still trailing behind him. Maybe they'll be able to jump somewhere this turn, you never know. So that's movement. We'll now move on to Psychic and Shooting. So during the Psychic phase there, the Librarian again tried to get off Gate of Infinity and failed, but did again get Hammer Hand off, so really useful in the backfield there again. Next time I will be doing that one first, even if it's not worth it. Over here, a Smite was fired off in this direction. It was the closest unit was the Commissary, managed to do 1 mortal wound. He also shot all his weapons at this tank here and didn't... Oh no, it was, sorry, at the unit here, pardon me, and took off 1 wound. The Land Raider, in a turn of misfortune, I should say, fired all of its weapons over here at this tank here and did nothing. So, hey, say la vie. Not a good day at the office for the Grey Knights. So we'll now move on into the assault phase and just see if we can get a couple of units in. So during this assault phase, there was an attempted charge by the Grandmaster at the Demolisher here. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. He did take 1 wound. Land Raider, in a fit of stupidity, tried to assault this direction and died to Overwatch to an overcharged plasma gun. So not brilliant. But you know, we all do silly things when things get desperate. So that is the end of Grey Knight's turn 3. We'll now move on to the Guard's turn 4 and see what happens. So as turn 4 for Guard commences, the noose is tightening around the remaining Grey Knight forces up this end of the board as tanks roll in. The Hellhound rolls up here to peer into between the ruins and probably take out this squad at the back here. The squads have all moved in from this direction here as well with tank support. So I have a suspicion this is going to be quite another bloody turn for Guard. We'll move on into their shooting phase and see what happens to the remaining Grey Knight squads. So as the dust settles in this area of the battlefield, turn 4 for Guard has managed to take out pretty much all of this squad and all this squad. So I think we're going to need some leadership here in a minute as well. So I will just grab a couple of dice and do that now because there isn't going to be an assault phase, I believe.
No.
No. So these guys here have lost 3.
Yep.
They are okay. They lost a sizable amount more, and I think... I don't know why I rolled 2 dice actually. Excuse me, that was old rules. Oh, true. There we go. That's fair enough. Yeah, that's all right. This is going to need a 1. No, I'm going to re-roll anyway, and there we go. So that's okay. Right, that's that. And over this area here, I think nothing actually went into the Grandmaster in the end. However, I think everything else was shot into this squad here, basically from the Punisher. I think this squad here, no they advanced, didn't they? The mortars at the back over there, and they took a couple of wounds off. So that is the shooting phase and the end of this round for the Guard. We'll now move on to turn 4 for the Grey Knights and just see if, I don't know, well, might be able to do something. Let's find out. So turn 4 for Grey Knights and movement here. This Grandmaster has moved forward towards the tank on low HP there. The Librarian has skipped through the ruins here, as you do with Terminator armour. And then the other 2 squads have moved just to get to their nearest target. So both these guys are scoring up against the Hellhound. And the last 2 remaining members of this strike squad over here just scoring up against this squad in the ruins there. So let's see what happens in the psychic and shooting. So the Grandmaster in his shooting phase and in psychic phase, he managed to get off Sanctuary. However, he did take D3 mortal wounds. He took 2, so he's down to 3 wounds now, but he did get Sanctuary off. He then shot his Relic Bolter at the squad here, managed to wipe them out. Over here, the Librarian shot at this squad over here, managed to kill their Heavy Bolt, which was chosen and taken off. And then the 2 remaining Strike Squad members here took out the remainder of the squad that was down here. Over here, the Hellhound was shot at multiple times, however, it didn't do much, unfortunately, and I think even though I'm going to take a lot of auto hits on the charging, I'm going to charge because I'm just going to get flamed next turn anyway, so I may as well see if I get lucky. So, that is the shooting phase. We'll now move on to the assault phase. We do have a couple of assaults to go, and see how we go. So, at the end of the shooting phase for Guard in turn 5, yeah, Strike Squad's gone. Over here, we've had quite a few shots come into the Librarian, and he's down to 1. And then over here, they all shot at the Grandmaster, but apparently he just doesn't want to die. So 3 wounds. I mean, it got down to the desperation point of firing the mortars at it, which I thought was a bit risky in this particular situation. But apparently they're very accurate mortars that missed 3 times. So that's the end of the shooting phase. We'll now move on into the assault phase and see if the Grandmaster can survive the amount of power swords that are coming in. So that is the end of turn 5 for Guard. Sadly, the Grandmaster has died.
Killed by a commissar.
Killed by a commissar with a power fist on his many belts of weapons. And over here, the Librarian managed to survive and kill 2. However, we're now going to move straight on into Grey Knight's turn 5. And I'll do my attacks. We hit twice. And needing 3s. 1 more dead.
Oh no.
And then Dom will do his
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go.
bayonet time. I'll just put it down there.
Yep. Yeah, 2. Bye-bye, Librarian.
No.
I use a reroll.
Okay, one command point reroll. Still nothing.
Yeah.
So that is the end of Grey Knight's turn 5. I think we'll just. Do you want to see if it continues, or are we going to call it there?
Yeah, we'll see if it continues.
So continue. So on a.
It
does continue. So we're just going to keep going because there's literally no point in doing anything because it's going to be a combat anyway.
Yeah.
So, I presume you don't.
Honourable Guard. So we're going to go straight into assault.
Yeah.
So here we go. 6 attacks. 1, 2. Using a command point to reroll. No.
If you're wondering why Dom has so many command points left, it's because he was stealing almost every one at the beginning of my 6. So my attack's back. Hit twice. And kill 2.
So, morale check. Pass my morale
Pass.
check.
They're still fighting, so...
And then it's your turn.
In my turn 6, I'll do my 3 attacks again. Just the 1.
Or Fumble City.
And 1 wound, or 1 dead.
Okay, so down to the Sergeant. Here we go, Sergeant. I use a reroll. No, alright, so my wound.
No. So, that's the end of turn 6.
Yep. Shall we see if the game continues?
Yes, let's go for it.
No, it's game over.
Alright, well, Dom, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in a minute with a little recap. Okay, so at the end of that game, as you probably realise, it was quite a firm Guard victory. So over here, obviously this objective is held because the objective is secured from that troop squad there. And this one over here, so that gives them the 2 points they get the most. Obviously, I think Dom knew he could have won it earlier, but we decided to carry on just to sort of, for funsies, do a bit of combat. That's always good. So yeah, Dom, how did your Guard perform in that game?
They performed very well. They did very well. Nice combination between the Lehman Russ's firing and the troops supporting them there.
Yeah.
It was good because I got a bit of a flank manoeuvre with the armour, which was kind of planned in the long run, but kind of held up for a bit. But yeah, we were able to get to the back and take the objective and clear that, and then come loop round and support the centre when needed.
Yeah, good. And I was very impressed with the amount of firepower put out. On reflection from my army for the Grey Knights, I think number 1, I need to learn to play them better. Number 2, I think a slightly different army composition. I think too many points in big units hurt me a little bit there. So maybe less Land Raiders and maybe 1 less Dread Knight, or maybe a little bit of a reshuffle. But I will definitely bring them back again and just try and get a little bit better with them. So I need to get more games in, as that's the usual thing, just to play them more to understand them better. So that is the end of this 1850 point game. Hope you all enjoyed watching. As usual, if you have done, please obviously give us a like, a subscribe, and make any comments about what we can improve. So from myself and Dom,
Thank you.
this is BlackToad Studio, and see you soon.